I announced some of the biggest news of my entire life in yesterday's video on my second channel, so if you haven't seen it, you're gonna wanna watch. I promise you're gonna wanna stay until the end of the video. But first, we have a story here today, and it is called My Husband's Open Marriage Suggestion Backfired on Him. We have seen a few times that open marriages have backfired on Reddit, so they never seem to disappoint. I mean, us. I'm sure they're disappointed. This story came June 26th, 2024. Hi guys, so future Joss here. Near the end of reading this story, something clicked and I'm like, I don't know, the names or something sound familiar. I feel like I've read this before. Apparently I read it on my channel over a year ago, however, it wasn't the full story. We have the finished full story from the first time and brand new updates. So for all my new viewers here, if you want to watch it, you should, because it's definitely a juicy one. And for those who want the update, I will also be putting a chapter bookmark below. You can skip ahead to the update if you want to just see the update part of the story. Okay, you're welcome, and thank you for understanding. My husband, Leo, 34 male, and I, 30 female, have been together for 7 years, married for 4 of them. We don't have any kids, and we don't intend to. 2 years ago, Leo asked me for an open marriage. I was devastated at the time. I couldn't understand why he didn't want just me. I couldn't even comprehend the idea of sharing him either. He gave me the same song and dance a lot of men give their spouses, swore up and down that he loved me and that I just wasn't fulfilling his needs. He needed more than I could give. It was just to spice up our life. It was just sex, etc., etc. I did ask if there was someone else. He said no. To this day, I'm still not sure if I believed him, but at the time I was angry and hurt, and I said no. He pestered me to change my mind for a week before giving me an ultimatum. Open marriage or divorce? I chose an open marriage. Do you know how fast my answer would be divorce over open marriage?
No! God, please, no!
But you know what? To each their own. Some people like that life and it works for them. Have a great time. Couldn't be me. I just couldn't bear the thought of him leaving me at the time. We have rules. We can't bring any partners home. We have to get tested for an STD every 3 months. 1 weekend of the month must be left free for us time. Any money we spend on or with our partners must come from our personal bank accounts. I did not partake in the open marriage myself for the first 3 months. Leo obviously did right away. He seemed to be gone out late almost all the time, but he always acted so happy and loving towards me while I felt like I was dying inside. It killed me to think that he was sleeping with other women, and I felt so lonely and unattractive and not good enough. I told my sister Katie, 26 female, and a few close friends everything. Katie told me to just play his game and be part of the open marriage too. If he can sleep around, so could I. I honestly didn't have much confidence in myself at the time. I'm a bit overweight and I've never considered myself conventionally pretty. I was afraid this would just humiliate me further. Katie and my best friend Jessie, 30 female, set up my online dating profiles for me. I got so many matches that it was overwhelming. When I told Leo, he was surprised, but he told me to do whatever I thought was best. Jesse helped me choose my first date, and I actually had a great time. He didn't pressure me for sex, and he took me out for drinks and dinner. We did end up doing the deed eventually, but it was all just casual, and we didn't see each other after a couple months of casual dating. The first guy really made me feel more confident in myself. So I kept going on dates with men. A lot of them wanted to treat me, so I didn't have to spend much of my own money. Not only that, but some of the men have given me the best sex I've had in my life. Almost like the kind that you read in romance novels. It has been amazing. I am currently seeing 2 different men alongside Leo. One who is Mark, 38 male, and he's more of a steady boyfriend that I've been with for about 6 months. And one is Steven, 25 male, very casual, mostly just hanging out and having playtime, we'll say. because I've been saying the word a lot and it's bound to get flagged eventually. They know about my open marriage and my other relationships and they are fine with it. My husband has not been so lucky. In the beginning, he definitely was. He was always out and about and didn't seem to care even when I started dating too. But now he just complains a lot and hasn't been going out much. He whines about how he's usually the one spending money. A lot of the women that he tries to be with want an open connection before sex. He often wants to be with younger women, but they want younger men. He's also been upset that I go out with random guys so often while he's at home alone all the time. It's almost like you wanted this. He hasn't asked to close the marriage yet, but I feel like he will soon. He keeps saying he misses us and wants to spend more time together. He tried to initiate intimacy a lot more too. He wants to go on dates and go on vacations and all that stuff more and more, and he gets upset when I tell him I can't because I've already scheduled to do stuff with my partners, mostly Mark. Honestly, I don't think I love Leo anymore. I care about him, but I don't love him. I'm not saying I love Mark or Steven, but I honestly feel closer to Mark nowadays than I do Leo. Mark makes me feel comfortable and safe, and I love spending time with him more than my own husband. Steven is funny and sweet and really good at intimacy time. Katie and Jesse have been wanting me to divorce him for a year now, but I was afraid of hurting him and thought I still loved him. But I think my love for him died when he asked for this open marriage in the first place. Seeing him get all pissy about it now, just because he's not benefiting from it, is also a major turnoff for me too. But I don't know if divorce is the best option. I still care about him and I still don't want to hurt him. Maybe if he finally asked to close the marriage, we can talk about it then. I'm not surprised. I've heard a few stories on this channel before about someone asking for an open marriage, and then after some time, they're like, yeah, I don't want this anymore, I want to close it. But the other partner's already been in it and they're enjoying it. Our first update came July 3rd, 1 week later. A lot of you keep saying the same thing. Divorce, divorce, divorce. But the thing is, I think a part of me still loves my husband. I know in my last post that I didn't think I loved him anymore, but I can't just forget about the things that I do love. I love when he sings in the shower. I love when he laughs so hard that he snorts. I love when he kisses my forehead when I've had a bad day. I love when he holds my hand when we watch TV together. Leo has done a lot of crappy things, but he really isn't the big a-hole that people think. And maybe that was my fault. But even if I still do love him, I'm not in love with him anymore. I don't think I have been for a while. I care about him. A part of me does still love him, but you were all right. I should have divorced him when he gave me that ultimatum in the first place. Especially if you didn't want it, you know? Don't do anything you don't want to do. This past Saturday, we had the big talk. I initiated it, but he didn't seem too surprised. I just told him that I noticed he didn't seem to like me going out with Mark or Steven and asked if there was a problem. He said there was, but he didn't ask me to close the marriage. He just asked me if I still loved him. I said something like, not like I used to. He broke down crying, which made me cry. I guess he had known for a while that I wasn't in love with him anymore, but he had hoped that he would win me back if he just funneled all of his energy into me. I was honest and I told him that during those first 3 months of our open marriage, I think my love for him died and I just couldn't get it back. I did tell him that I still cared about him and that I did love him, but it's not the same as it was. He asked if I loved Mark or Steven, and I said no. I like being with them and I care about them a lot, but I can't say I'm in love with either of them. I also finally asked him why he wanted an open marriage in the first place. A lot of you in the comments said that he already had someone lined up, and you were right. He had someone at work that he was interested in, and she wanted him too. The open marriage was just to get permission. He honestly never expected me to also go out and get my own partners because of how unconfident I was. But he didn't want to stop me either because he thought nothing would come of it. He really didn't like me seeing other men, but he knew it wouldn't have been fair to tell me no when I gave him permission first. I guess Mark and Steven made him insecure because I was spending so much time with them on a regular basis. The open marriage was just sex on the side for him. He only did hookups and they never lasted long. He genuinely always just loved me, but he thought I was falling in love with my partners and he was losing me and wanted to win me back. We cried a lot and we talked a lot. We decided to get a divorce. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say that you decided to stay together. I doubted you. I really thought you were gonna say we decided to work on things. I don't know. That was my guess. I don't know what you guys thought, but since the house is in his name, I'm going to move out and live with Katie for a while. He told me I didn't have to and I could stay until the divorce was finalized, but I just can't. It's too hard to even look at him sometimes. I don't know how I feel, to be honest. I thought I'd be relieved or sad, but I'm just tired. I wish I could have been like all of you wanted me to be, clapping back or being sarcastic and snarky or rubbing it in his face, but I don't feel like I've won anything. I just feel lost. Well, you kind of did lose. You had a marriage that you were happy in. And then out of nowhere, it was like, hey, ultimatum, divorce or open marriage. And then you didn't want to lose him, but then you ended up losing him because of his idea. Like, I get it. It's really not a win. You had a marriage that you were happy in before all of this. That's sad. Our next update came September 2nd, 2 months later. It feels like both a lot and nothing has happened. Leo and I are still in the middle of our divorce. It's been an amicable divorce as it can be. Since we mutually agreed to it and we had a prenup, it's been pretty easy splitting everything else 50-50. My lawyer says I should be divorced by the end of the year. Leo is insistent on giving me alimony, but I'm not really interested. Thanks a lot to the people making me think about Leo's explanation for the open marriage. I did approach him about it again and asked him to be 100% honest with me about the girl from work. I mean, I didn't want to kick you while you were down, but I definitely thought he cheated with her. Usually there's already, well, I'm not gonna say usually, how would I know? But there are cases out there that we've read where they're already cheating and the guilt is getting to them. So like, oh, can we have an open marriage? Because they're already doing it. Like they are already in an open marriage in their mind because they're cheating. He admitted there was more to it than he first admitted to me. This is what he explained to me, and I have decided to believe him. Even if he's lying, it doesn't really matter anymore since we're getting divorced. I also just have little energy to care about the details at this point. However, according to him, this is the timeline. Oh, I love point form. He was posting on Reddit about his kinks for advice and such, which I did know about beforehand. He was getting messages from this one user and they just kept talking back and forth. He mentions my name to the user in a conversation, which he actually let me read. During his lunch break, his coworker, I'll call her Mary, approaches him and asks if he uses Reddit and asks about his handle. He confirms, and then Mary tells him that she is the user he's been talking to. They start talking more and more in real life as friends and eventually start talking through Instagram. He also showed me these conversations. The conversations were mostly just memes and jokes and occasional flirts and mentioning of kinks. At one point, she says it's too bad that he's not single. This is when he decided to demand the open marriage because Mary was clearly into him and into some of the same kinks, and she could, satisfy him since I was unable to. That is how he basically said it anyways. Truth be told, we did have some difficulties before the open marriage was brought up. I'm very vanilla and he discovered kinks after we were married. I tried them all for him, but I just couldn't get into it and he didn't like seeing me struggle with that. So he didn't try to bring them into the bedroom again after it was obvious that I just didn't like it. So we did have sexual compatibility issues. Maybe we were doomed to fail even without the open marriage ultimatum. Our families, outside of my sister, were shocked when we told everyone that we were getting a divorce. They always thought that we were happy and in love. My mom blames me, which I expected, but it still hurts. They don't know about the open marriage, and Leo and I plan to keep it that way. I think that he is ashamed to tell them. I am too, if I'm being honest. I really thought Leo was the love of my life. He was my first for almost everything. I said that we were together for 7 years, but we have been friends since college. I've known him for nearly 12 years, and we are about to become strangers soon. I still mourn my marriage, even though Katie and Jesse keep telling me that this is for the best. They're both definitely thrilled. They don't hide it, but they also know this has been very weird for me. I just don't know how to feel. I thought that I would feel feel relieved or heartbroken or something, but I just feel weird, like I lost part of myself and I don't know how to get it back. I'm still living with Katie, but I will be moving out soon. I found a 1-bedroom apartment that's near Jesse, so I won't be completely alone. Mark offered to let me move in with him, but I declined. Honestly, we're kind of on standby. He knows I'm having a hard time processing my feelings about my husband and the end of my marriage. I think he wants us to be official, but I don't know. I really do like Mark and I don't want to lose him, but I feel like I need to figure myself out first. As for Steven, we ended our relationship at the beginning of August. He got a job offer in another state and took it. Even though it was casual, I did cry a little. Steven is a great guy. Whenever he decides to settle down into something serious, the woman who gets him will be a lucky one. We've been texting here and there, but it's mostly just sending each other TikToks and polite, hope you're doing well messages. Some people asked me if I wanted to go back to monogamy, even after experimenting and clearly getting into this poly relationship that I had going on. And the answer is yes. I do. Even though Mark and Steven were great and I met plenty of guys during my open marriage, I don't know if I've been really happy with myself or my choices. I also think I feel guilty a lot too, like I somehow was cheating on Leo, Mark, and Steven, even though it was all open and consensual. Polyamory and open relationships may work for some people, but it's really just not for me. Jesse says that I need to get a therapist. I have tried looking, but finding a therapist that's both available and seems like a good fit is a pain. Hopefully I can find one by the time the divorce is settled. I also want to figure out what to do about Mark on my own. I don't want to lead him on and give him any false hope. Maybe we should take a break, or maybe I should tell him to just break up with me. He should find his own happiness without worrying about me. We have another update that came 4.5 months later, January 18th, 2025. So we're in a new year. But first, you know the drill. Some of you hate it, some of you love it. I don't really care. We need to hydrate. Cheers. It's hydration station. I just edited out a big burp and you're welcome. That one was, I think, too gnarly to show. Although I feel like I've shown worse. Firstly, it's official. Leo and I are divorced. It was finalized earlier this week. To be honest, when I realized it was finally over, I cried. But it wasn't a sad mourning cry like I had been doing when I first posted to Reddit. It was mainly out of relief. Relief that it was over and relief that I could actually put everything all behind me. Some of you will be happy to know that I did take the alimony that Leo offered. It's honestly not too much, but it'll help me maintain some extra expenses. To be honest, I think he mainly offered to appease his guilt after everything that happened. Whatever his reasons are, they're not my concern anymore. I do have a therapist now. She's wonderful and is helping me work through a lot of untangled childhood trauma that ended up having an effect on my marriage. Honestly, if it wasn't for my mom, I don't think I would have ever agreed to the open marriage in the first place. A lot of people speculated that it was Leo that ruined my self-esteem, but it was always my mother. My therapist is helping me come to understand that my mom is, and probably always will be, a toxic individual. I'm trying to work on my boundaries and slowly limit my contact with her. It's hard, but I'm trying. As for Leo, my therapist advised me to close the door on him. He originally wanted us to be friends. Despite the progress I've made, he still has an effect on me. Many of his messages were him trying to persuade me to give him another chance, were him promising to be the husband that I deserve. My therapist said that I needed to be firm with my boundaries, and sometimes the best way to be firm is to draw a hard line. So I asked him not to contact me for a few months while I sorted myself out. So far, he's complied for the most part. He still follows me on Instagram and we're still Facebook friends, but he never comments on any of my posts or messages me on my stories. Sometimes he'll like something, but that is the extent of our contact, which I can handle. I've also made sure to keep myself from checking up on him per the advice of my therapist because I don't want to obsess over him and all the what ifs. Even after everything, I don't hate him. I thought I needed to because everyone else seemed to for what he did. My therapist explained that it's easier to hate someone you don't know than someone you do because I have so many wonderful and cherished memories that I can't fully separate from the painful ones that he left me with. So I don't hate him. I don't even think him to be a bad person. He is selfish and self-centered, and he hurt me a lot. But he can also be funny and sweet and attentive, and that was why I fell in love with him in the first place. I am still seeing Mark. I had tried telling him that we should break up because of my weird headspace and I thought he deserved better, but he said he loved me and wanted to wait for me and promised to go at my pace for however long I needed. I wanted to believe him when he says that, and I love being with him, so I am cautiously optimistic about it all working out. We still don't live together, and I kind of like it that way for now. I'm learning to become my own person again. Leo had been in my life for so long that I forgot what it was like to be me and not me and Leo. I even got a dog, which I always wanted but never got one because Leo was allergic. His name is Iro, and thanks to him, I don't feel lonely. This will probably be my last update. And it was, until very recently. There's new updates that came February 5th, 2026, over a year later, and she made a brand new post titled, "My ex-husband tried to take his life because of me. Now he wants to meet. How do I navigate this?" So this is about Leo. Oh my gosh. I will try to keep this short. My ex-husband Leo and I got divorced last year in January. He wanted the open marriage. I said yes because I was a doormat and a people pleaser, and it all went downhill from there. I have not had any contact with him since, though he had attempted to reach out several times. Last month, I found out that he had been more or less stalking my social media nearly every single day. He believed that because I hadn't blocked him on anything, it meant that he still had a chance. I didn't want any misunderstandings, so I decided to block him. I didn't say anything or warn him, and I just figured that life would go on. It did not. His mother, 62 female, came to my place to scream at me and accuse me of driving him to contemplate taking his life. She more or less said that blocking him drove him over the edge and it would be my fault if he did anything. It freaked me out so badly and I was rattled nearly for 2 weeks. Leo had been placed on a 5150 and had gotten out of the ward a little while ago. I know this because I got a letter from him. He apologized for what his mother said and promised to pay for any damages. But then he asked me if we could meet for only the final time because he really wants to talk to me. Maybe I'm still a doormat and a people pleaser. Maybe it's because he was in my life for 12 years. Maybe it's because I still feel guilty, even though I know what he did isn't my fault. But a part of me wants to meet. The other part of me wants to pretend that I never even saw the letter. I legitimately don't know what to do. I keep going back and forth. I did bring it up with my therapist once, and she just asks me if I genuinely believe there's any benefit to meeting up with him. I don't think there is, but that doesn't erase the fact that part of me still wants to. But what do I even say? What does he want to say? I'm also a little anxious about somehow turning back into that fully committed people pleaser again. Yet I also feel like there's a lot I want to say to him that I was too numb to say when we got divorced. I just don't know. I keep going back and forth and my own indecision infuriates me. I thought our update was going to be like, oh my God, me and Margaret married. Like, just, this is not what I was expecting. And this is heavy. This is some heavy real life stuff. I can't even pretend to know what I would do if I was her in that situation. I feel like everything she's feeling is understandable, even if I wouldn't react that way. I don't know how I would react. I can understand why she's like working through and processing all the different emotions that she's feeling, but we do have another update, so we're gonna find out how this all wraps up with a bow. The update came February 21st, 2026, over 2 weeks later. I wasn't planning to update, but I had gotten quite a few messages with people genuinely concerned about my safety. I just want to reassure everyone that I am perfectly safe and all is well. I promise. As for the update itself, it's nothing exciting, thankfully. I spoke to my therapist about what I wanted and what I should do. I even brought up the concerns and warnings that some of you shared with me. She didn't seem very impressed that I was getting worked up by the warnings of well-intended but uninformed strangers, is how she phrased it. After speaking with my therapist, it just sort of dawned on me that I didn't necessarily want closure. I didn't even really want to see him. I just wanted to scream at him. I was, and I still am, angry and frustrated and hurt. So I didn't meet him. If I did, I would probably just vent everything out in public and look like a crazy person. Instead, I wrote a letter. Handwritten, 3 pages, front and back, no lines skipped. I won't share the letter with you since there's a lot of super personal details that I'm not comfortable with sharing with strangers. To summarize though, I explained in depth how much he hurt me during our marriage. I cursed him out, called him a few names, and I told him that this will be the last time he will ever hear from me. But I also told him that I hope he heals. A part of me still cares about him, or rather, the good memories that I have with him. He was in my life for over a decade, and I loved him for a long time. Despite everything, I wish him well, and I want him to be a better and a happier person. We just don't need to be part of each other's lives anymore. I dropped it off in his mailbox last Friday. I'm pretty sure he's read it. He Venmo'd me for the damages his mom caused. What did his mom do? Did I miss what his mom did? Maybe it got deleted, but she must have done something when she went over there and freaked out. And included a note that just said, "I'm sorry." Honestly, I think that's all the closure I need. I'm sure some of you are still going to tell me to be weary and that Leo is dangerous, but I really think I'll be okay. I obviously did get some extra security for the house just to be safe, but Leo has never been a violent man. Short-sighted and selfish, sure, but not violent. As for his mother, she also Venmo'd me with a note that was just a Bible verse about forgiveness. I'm not sure if she's asking me to forgive her or telling me that she forgives me, but it really doesn't matter. She's blocked too, and I don't think I'll be hearing from her anytime soon, which is exactly what I want. I'm mad the part about the mom is not included in here. I wonder why? Maybe there's a typo on the Reddit story, but obviously she went over there and caused some sort of damage. Wow, never thought we were going to be hearing from this story again in the end. That is pretty intense and pretty crazy and some real life stuff. And maybe some of you can relate to parts of this. I certainly cannot, but maybe you can, and I will hear from you in the comment section. So stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.